Okay, go ahead.
Hello, this is Dr. Kirk Meighoo, Public Relations Officer of the United National Congress. This is not an official statement from the party that's being made, but it's an observation I've been making as Public Relations Officer, looking at the media and looking at the way, the very concerning way that they have been reporting on the insults, and not just reporting, but broadcasting the insults from a government, a rogue government, an internationally sanctioned government that is threatening to invade Trinidad and Tobago. They started these threats months ago when they said they would follow, when they accused persons of leaving Trinidad and Tobago to do some sort of action against the Venezuelan government. And they said they would follow those persons wherever they go, definitely implying Trinidad and Tobago. That was a hostile statement. And then they have openly threatened Trinidad and Tobago in the past few days. And instead of defending our country, the media is putting on the front page very disgusting insults, personal insults toward our Prime Minister. This borders on treason as far as I'm concerned, as a political scientist and a constitutional, with a specialization in constitutional history and constitutions. This definitely does border on treason. Of course, we can insult each other, just like in a family. You can insult each other and cuss up and get all, however, extreme you want, I suppose, within a family unit. But when someone from the outside comes in, you band together and you defend your family from the outsider. But that's not what's happening here. And I have to say, let me go out on a limb here. And again, this is a personal view, a personal statement. Looking at social media, looking at the media, you have persons who appear to be taking the side of Venezuela. It appears, well, certainly in terms of our CARICOM partner, Guyana, they absolutely see nothing wrong with, they have not criticized, let me put it that way, they have not criticized at all Venezuela's claim to 2/3 of Guyana. And yet these same people want to criticize the Trinidad and Tobago government for siding with Guyana in the strongest possible terms, and somehow calling that anti-CARICOM, when these other CARICOM countries have been involved with Petrocaribe and did not have solidarity with Trinidad and Tobago with our energy arrangements. They abandoned us for Venezuela and Chavez during that period, and now they are abandoning Guyana. And they are somehow calling that the real CARICOM position. I don't know what they mean, that they are really CARICOM and Trinidad and Guyana are not CARICOM, and Belize as well. Belize, Trinidad and Tobago, and Guyana support the U.S. action against narco trafficking in the Caribbean. And so for the other CARICOM countries to declare our position is not CARICOM is absolutely wrong, because CARICOM itself has not made any statement. And CARICOM cannot make a statement like that unless the heads of government are in agreement. So they are presuming that they are CARICOM, which is totally wrong. They are not CARICOM. We are all CARICOM, and 3 members stand firmly in support. And as Kamla Prasad-Bissessar said, the other CARICOM countries can make their own foreign policy decisions. She is not going to insult them or bully them or make them change their foreign policy, unlike it seems to be the position of some other persons in the region. But CARICOM has not made a statement, so it is not an anti-CARICOM position. But in the meanwhile, we have these people who seem to be very pro-Venezuela, very concerning. Some senior persons at the formerly at the university, former senators, political party leaders from smaller parties, making statements in support of Venezuela, who is threatening us. That is, if that is not treason, it is very close to treason. When our country is being threatened militarily, we must not aid and abet that country. And we must not be broadcasting their provocative, personal, degrading insults of our prime minister. This, unfortunately, speaks to the lack of patriotism of the PNM, of certain people, left-wing people. That's what it is. They are anti-U.S. They are left-wing, and their left-wing ideology would even make them betray their country in favor of Venezuela, whose policies they apparently agree with more. Even if you agree with Venezuela's policy more than you agree with the policy of the government of Trinidad and Tobago, it is treasonous to support that government when they are making direct military threats to our government. And so I call on the media, I call on the commentators to stand in defense of Trinidad and Tobago, to stand in defense of Guyana, to stand in defense of CARICOM, and not betray us for your ideology or for your political spite. This is a time to turn away from our internal divisions and differences and to defend our country together. And that is something very concerning if our citizens are not doing that. And so I ask people to step back and think about what they're doing. There is a government that has expressed hostility to us, has basically said they would invade us. And again, I've seen commentators on the media, on the news, just yesterday, mischaracterizing our position. And the Prime Minister has said it over and over again. We are not in any way in support of regime change. We have not been speaking about that. The Trump administration also said they are not in it for regime change explicitly. What we are in support of is the fight against narco terrorism. And also, if Venezuela were to invade Guyana, then we support any action to defend Guyana, because our army cannot do it, and the Guyanese army cannot do it. Those are the bare facts. Our armies cannot do it, and we welcome the support of the USA to defend Guyana's territorial integrity. And interestingly, Venezuela is trying to say that if we defend Guyana, then we are invading Venezuela, because they already, in their constitution, in their laws, in their maps, already have 2/3 of Guyana as part of Venezuela. So they believe that if we go to Essequibo, we are actually in Venezuela. But that's not true. And we reject that. And we support heavily and to the largest and furthest extent possible. The Prime Minister has said she would defend and help to defend Guyana. These other countries and these other commentators apparently would let Venezuela walk through because we don't want to be involved in a fight. So that's their position. We should just let Venezuela take over Guyana in the name of being a zone of peace. I think some of them are actually very much in support of Maduro and Venezuela and the Bolivarian revolution even if it means encroaching on CARICOM, because Venezuela has claimed Trinidad and Tobago. The extremists, not the government. I don't believe the government. I've not seen a statement from the government on that, but I definitely have seen statements from Venezuelans, from historians, from radical persons that have claimed Trinidad and Tobago, because we were once part of Venezuela. And to give you the history, in 1797, the British took Trinidad from Venezuela, and then in 1802, the Treaty of Amiens ceded Trinidad to Britain. So there's a formal treaty. So they have no basis on saying that this was done illegally. Spain had agreed to it, and Britain had agreed to it. So there is no claim that they can make. Venezuela was not an independent country in 1802 when the Treaty of Amiens was signed. We must protect our sovereignty. We must protect the sovereignty of Guyana. We must protect the territorial integrity of CARICOM. And that's what we are doing. And those other persons who prefer to either defend Venezuela outright or to allow Venezuela to do what they want in the name of being a zone of peace, and therefore letting Venezuela get away with their imperial ambitions. Eric Williams himself talked about the imperial ambitions of Venezuela and warned the country about that. We must not let that happen, and we must stand firmly with the brave and courageous and bold Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar for taking this historic stance. This stance of strength that she has taken is what we need to transform our country. So I call on everybody to stand back, to think about what you're doing, and do not give support to our enemies who are threatening to invade us. Thank you. Long live Trinidad and
Dr.
Tobago.
Mayo, I could jump in here for 2 seconds here, but
Sure.
I want to invite you on later on, either today or tomorrow, if you could come back in about around 8 o'clock, because we would like to continue this conversation with you. But we did not campaign to maintain the status quo. We campaigned to maintain to make a change in the security
Correct.
status of the country and to upgrade things, and to see the lack of understanding and collaboration from those who are criticizing our prime minister, and taking out of context what she's saying, is totally unacceptable. But we also here observing what's taking place, and securing our country. I think we should work some kind of deal with the United States to upgrade. I know we have the Southern Command that comes and does a lot of things, but what I want to see is that we upgrade our Coast Guard, especially what happened with the Paria situation, which is I've been making suggestions to our cabinet and on our prime minister indirectly. Also, directly, is that we utilize the U.S. Navy to upgrade the skills of our U.S. Of our Trinidad Coast Guard, so they can respond to emergencies like Paria, underwater response, because we are not capable. We don't have the kind of equipment to respond to such emergencies. So this is where we would like to see an upgrade.
Yeah.
We have seen our
And,
borders very
and
wide open on the PNM, with all the vessels parked up, in
correct.
Shagaranis there. And how can they dare tell us that they're interested in securing the country? The borders was wide open, and I strongly believe, in my opinion, that this was done deliberately by design to allow certain things to happen in our country. So we're making a strong attempt up to how to say upgrade our security, and to collaborate with the United States in doing that.
And I want to bring in something here. This is a continuation, basically, of the ship rider debate in 1997, 98, which I also participated in. I wasn't with the UNC at the time. That was many years ago under the Bastille Pandey administration, when the government entered into an agreement with the United States, so that the U.S., if they are in pursuit of, let's say, narco traffickers, and other illegal um, vessels, and they enter Trinidad waters, the U.S. can come onto a Trinidad ship and continue and continue the pursuit. And the UNC government agreed to it. And the same people who are now criticizing Kamla Prasad Bissessa were criticizing Bastio Pandey and Ramesh Lawrence Maharaj in those days with the same arguments and the same reason. And what you saw happened during the UNC period of that time was when we had record high murders under the PNM, the Bastio Pandey government brought it down to record lows. And but it's the same argument, it's the same battle, it's the same UNC, the same PNM. We are fighting against the narco traffickers. We are fighting against the criminals, and we are seeking the help of our powerful partners in the United States, whereas the PNM have always been defending using the terms of sovereignty or now zone of peace and CARICOM. They are allowing the criminals and the narco traffickers free reign, and that's what gave us the record high murder rates, which always occur under the PNM. And it's the tough stances of the UNC and our international partnerships and our thinking outside of the box that has always turned our country around. And this time we have to make it permanent. We cannot let the PNM and their backward thinking and the defense of criminals get back into power.
Well, I mean, all the advancement we made on between the 2010, 2015, they took us way back. We
Yep,
saw what happened with our economy also. I mean, we are not coming from ground level; we are coming from underground, and we want people to
that's
understand
right.
that. So we have to do some more episodes where we could educate the population and where we're coming back from, where we're trying to bring the
That's
country
right.
back from, and
That's
so that
right.
they understand what's taking place economically, but also what the PNM has made it very obvious, in my view, that they are part of the criminal element. They have made all the grand charge and Galavant and really has not done anything effective. It is more Mama Guy that we
Correct.
have seen within the
Correct.
last 10 years and more
Yeah.
destruction and death.
Yeah, whether it be the zone of peace or the position against stand your ground, for if someone is thieving your mangoes, or whether it is what's the other one? Stand your ground, and then the dismantling of the gangs in URP and CPEP. The PNM, they are always in defense of bandits. They are always standing up in defense of bandits and against innocent victims of crime.
Well, we have seen a lot with that, especially. I mean, I would say about 80% of the money allocated to URP was sucked up with ghosts, not really
Hmm.
trickled down to the people who they're trying to instigate to riot, because those people really didn't benefit. Is others benefit, and not in people not on the job. They were on the payroll but not on the job. So we have a lot to talk about. As much as you could spare us the time, we want you to come back, and our team would like to engage you in conversation, whether it's tonight or tomorrow. You let me know.
Okay.
And definitely thank you for taking the time here, Dr. Meighoo. And we will continue this conversation, this channel. I want to let the party know that this channel is available at a moment's notice to broadcast any issues, press conference, anything that. So we have to counterattack the PNM Costa Nostra media. And
Mhm.
this channel is fully available. We are broadcasted here on UNC USA YouTube channel, Facebook page, and TNT Citizen Facebook page also. So we have three streams here that's going on at this point. So I want to thank you for taking the time, and feel free, to let us know when you can come back.
Okay, will do.
All right. Say hello to everybody first.
Thanks for your work. We appreciate it.
Thank you there, Dr. Mayhew.
All right.